activities.
So we're out in front of the house here, and today is Tuesday, May 20th. We're up in Oak Park, beautiful Oak Park. In the very front of the house, you see it's a copper line coming up. And it looks like it's been replaced, and this is the main shut-off valve here. And your street pressure is 79 psi, so it's not over 80, and it does have a regulator. We'll test the house side pressure a little later. You see there's a loose ground wire here. They have the wrong type of acorn, you want to see we call it acorn clamp here for the ground wire. Over in the corner here, there's a drain line for your water heater, and I'm going to go to the left side of the house through the garage here, and we're going to find your gas meter. It's out here, and it's freshly painted. And to shut this off, there's a valve here, and when you need a wrench, you turn the tab here 90 degrees, and now it shuts off the gas. Now you can get a automatic seismic gas shut-off valve. Stick it here if you care. It's not required out here. It would be in City of Los Angeles, but not out here. And I'm going to go to the other side of the house, to the right side of the house, and we'll look at the electrical panel. We're still at the left side, and this is a condensation line from your AC, and you can actually see water coming out of it. That's a healthy sign, and that it's working properly. On a hot, humid day, you'll get maybe a pint of water an hour when you're running your AC unit. So I'm at the left side of the house, and this is your main panel. I have taken the panel cover off, and so I'll put it back here in a second. But you can see that the main disconnect is right here. It's 100 amp, and you throw this down, and that'll turn off the power. And if you look carefully here, there's a couple conditions that we want to address. Each breakers, we like to see one wire per breaker for this type of breaker. And you notice there's two wires here, and one of the wires is aluminum, and there's 4 or 5 circuits here that have solid aluminum wiring, and on that you want to get further evaluation. And then also they have some of the older cloth covered Romex, and that needs to be inspected as well. So there's a couple things here. Back in 68 to 75, they used solid aluminum wiring as the cost of copper went up with the Vietnam War, and they used copper for bullets. So it's an alternative wiring method which we no longer use, because now there's problems associated with that type of wiring. Next thing is climb the roof. So I was told today that they have a newer roof on the house, and there is a gutter system. And one of the things that we check, if roofing shingles are still flexible like they are here, that means it's newer. As it ages, they get rigid. So we'll look at the very top of the roof and see what the ridge cap look like as well. So we'll carefully get on the roof here. And I'm over the garage area here, and the vent pipe for the water heater is made out of a product called Transite. It's an asbestos pipe, and the manufacturers of water heaters now want you to use a steel flue pipe. As we climb the roof here over the garage, at the peak of the roof, we call that the ridge cap, and we're looking for deterioration here. And you see it peels right up, so it's a newer roof. So they said it's under a year old. And from what I've seen so far, the vents here, your plumbing vents, we like to see the exposed flashing, so it's one layer of roofing. And the back side of the house, you have some plumbing vents. You have your bathroom vent, ceiling vent, and some bathroom for your master bedroom vents here. I'm going to swing the camera around, and your vent for your furnace is a steel pipe, and that's been replaced to steel. It's a dual wall. We like to see that. Now I want to walk towards the kitchen area, which would be on the rear right side of the house. You can see your vent for your hood for your range or cooktop, and you have a vent here for your plumbing. On the back of the house you have a added solar sunroom, and the tape at the roofing joints, they use a panel here. It's coming loose in areas, so you can see it over there. I'm not going to walk on it, but it's that needs to be looked at. And then from the transition from the roof to the sunroom, they use 90 weight cap sheet, and this is aging here. See the granulars rocks are coming loose, so this should be replaced after 12 to 15 years, and it's probably getting on to 15 years now later, or age. As I bring this camera around, you can see the Rampart General fire chimney, and they have these telltale vertical cracks, and there's a crack all the way from the top all the way down to the roof connection. And what happens here, this type of product, when they built it in the factory, they added a calcium salt additive, and it speeds up the curing process. And over time, the salt attacks the rebar in the corners of each of the corners of the fireplace, and it deteriorates the rebar and expands out and gets you these vertical cracks. So there is a crack in above the fireplace opening. We call it insulation plate. There's creosote buildup, and it has a flat screen. It doesn't have a ring cap spark arrestor as your neighbor's fireplace has. And so this has enough conditions where you need to get a fireplace specialist to look at it. And there's one in the area that's written reports on this type of fireplace. His name is Del Febb. You may want to contact him. He doesn't do repairs, he's independent, but he would be the guy to call. And he's got some articles on this type of fireplace you may want to go to Google and get. So there's two different types of roof systems on your rear of your house. Some of it's a metal, and the other is a like a man-made product. And this one here is not sloped properly, so it's catching debris. And so you want to maybe get a roofer to kind of look at what this rear roofing is like. Again, on this Rampart, you want to get a further evaluation on that. Again, this is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections, and I can be reached at 818-271-0417 or on the web www.ehomeinspector.com. There's a couple conditions with the electrical system. We're in the living room and the overhead light keeps flickering. And this might be another telltale sign of a bad connection or aluminum wiring cracked or something like that. So it's another good reason to have a electrician look at everything over. And I'm going to just give you a little heads up here on how to do your cleaning your filter on your furnace. So we're over in the furnace alcove in the hallway, and the bottom cover snaps in place. Pull it off. You have these little snaps here, and then underneath here you'll see a furnace. Bottom of the furnace, a filter is 14 by 25. And we'll go get a light. The filter here, and this is a type of filter you want to change out 4 times a year, 3 to 4 times. This is a filtrate, and if you get this $10 filter, if you use a $3 filter, you want to change those out every month on usage. And then if you look inside here, there's some debris. So when you change your filter out, you always want to vacuum this plenum box. We call it the plenum box. It's the box underneath the furnace. So you got that. And a little added thing we're going to talk about is in your kitchen, under your kitchen cabinetry, we found some white PVC water line. It starts here. And we use this for sprinklers. And it goes all the way to under your stove top, cooktop, and they saddle on a water line on that. And this could be a possible leak. We don't use this type of piping in the footprint of the house, so you want to change that as well. Go to alternative pipe, either copper or PEX. Again, this is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections, and I can be reached at 818-271-0417 or on the web, www.ehomeinspector.com.